हेलो एवरीवन, दिस इज आयशा और आप देख रहे हैं मेरा चैनल। तो आज के वीडियो में जो हम लोग बात करने वाले हैं वो है हम लोग का एग्ज़ाम। थर्ड सेमेस्टर का एग्ज़ाम होने वाला है पीजी का, एंड दिस एग्ज़ाम इज़ फॉर द टॉपिक इज़ क्वांटिटेटिव फील्ड एंड क्वांटिटेटिव टेक्निक्स। आई एम रियली सॉरी कि मेरे को बंगाली उतने अच्छे से नहीं आता, बट स्टिल आई ट्राई टू मेक यू अंडरस्टैंड। ठीक है, इंग्लिश भी ज़्यादातर लोग स्टूडेंट्स को समझने में प्रॉब्लम होती है, तो मैं ट्राई करूँगी कि हिंदी और इंग्लिश को मिक्स करके करूँ। एंड ये लास्ट मिनट का एक स्लाइड मैंने बनाया है कि ओवरऑल तरीके से समझ जाओ कि क्या है नहीं है, क्योंकि बेसिकली ये वाइवा में काम आएगा। बाकी सब जो है वो पहले से पढ़ाई करना ज़रूरी होता है। तो हम लोग का टॉपिक है मास्टरिंग क्वांटिटेटिव टेक्निक्स एंड फील्ड टेक्निक्स। ठीक है, तो ये कैलकाटा यूनिवर्सिटी का थर्ड सेमेस्टर का सिलेबस है। एंड ये हम लोग का आगे यहाँ पे आप लोग देख सकते हैं कि यहाँ पे 3 यूनिट्स है। एक तो क्वांटिटेटिव एनालिसिस एंड डायग्राम्स, क्वांटिटेटिव मैपिंग एंड इंटरप्रिटेशन, फील्ड टेक्निक्स। तो देखो, क्वांटिटेटिव एनालिसिस एंड डायग्राम में हम लोग का 3 चीज़ आ रहा है: गिनी कोएफिशिएंट, लॉरेंस कर्व, नियरेस्ट नेबरिंग एनालिसिस एंड ऑक्यूपेशनल टर्नरी डायग्राम, एक्सपोनेंशियल growth curve and population projection, index number, cumulative index number. There is a lot of thing. So देखो, सबका डिफिनेशन याद रखना बहुत ज़रूरी है कि कौन सी चीज़ में क्या, मतलब कि कौन सा टॉपिक क्या काम में आता है। जैसे कि गिनी कोएफिशिएंट का ही ले लो। गिनी कोएफिशिएंट हम लोग क्यों यूज़ करते हैं? ये हम लोगों का पॉपुलेशन में जो इनकम डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन होता है उसका इनइक्वलिटी डिफाइन करने में हम लोग का मदद करता है गिनी कोएफिशिएंट। ठीक है, तो वैसे ही करके एक एक करके टॉपिक हम लोग कवर अप करेंगे। एंड इस वीडियो में ज़्यादा डीप में नहीं जाएंगे, ये वीडियो रीडिंग पर्पस के लिए है। तो इसको हम लोग डीप में दूसरे वीडियो में पढ़ेंगे, क्योंकि हम लोग का जिस टाइम में मैं ये रिकॉर्ड कर रही हूँ अभी 3 बज रहा है ऑलमोस्ट, देख ही सकते हो स्क्रीन पे। तो मेरा एग्ज़ाम है 12 बजे, सो मैं पूरा डीप में जाके एक्सप्लेन नहीं कर सकती, तो शॉर्ट में एक्सप्लेन करूँगी। तो वीडियो स्टार्ट करते हैं एंड कवर अप करते हैं जल्दी, और हो सके तो वीडियो फास्ट फॉरवर्ड करके देखना, क्योंकि अभी टाइम कम है। एंड इसका एक लॉन्ग वीडियो ज़रूर बनाएंगे हम। एंड कमेंट में बता देना कि पीपीटी कैसा बना। ठीक है, बकवास बंद, अब स्टार्ट करता है। तो यूनिट 2 में हम लोग क्वांटिटेटिव मैपिंग एंड इंटरप्रिटेशन। बेसिकली इसमें इंटरप्रिटेशन पे ज़्यादा ध्यान देना है, क्योंकि देखो, हम लोग के क्वेश्चन पेपर में इंटरप्रिटेशन लिख दो ना, उसमें मार्क्स उठ जाता है। तो इंटरप्रिटेशन का एक पैटर्न होता है, उस पैटर्न को दिमाग में लेके चलना। इंटरप्रिटेशन कैसे लिखा जाता है वो भी हम एक सेपरेट वीडियो में बताएंगे। तो इसका हम लोग का टोटल 4 डिवीजन है क्वांटिटेटिव मैपिंग एंड इंटरप्रिटेशन का। मेन सेंटर ऑफ पॉपुलेशन एंड इट्स शिफ्टिंग, कंसंट्रेशन ऑफ पॉपुलेशन अबाउट मीन सेंटर, लोकेशन कोटेशन, जी स्कोर, रेसिडुअल मैपिंग, क्रॉप कॉम्बिनेशन एनालिसिस, पॉपुलेशन पोटेंशियल, ग्रेविटी मॉडल, एक्सेसिबिलिटी मैप, डिस्टेंस सेंट्रलिटी मैट्रिक्स, जिसको हम लोग शॉर्ट फॉर्म में बोलते हैं मैट, MAT। इसका फुल फॉर्म थोड़ा सा याद करके रखना, डिस्टेंस सेंट्रलिटी मैट्रिक्स। हो सकता है कि वाइवा में पूछ ले, हो सकता है, नो आइडिया। आपका अगर वो जब बुक है नोटबुक, अगर उसमें लिखा होगा तो ऑब्वियसली पूछ सकता है। तो नोटबुक में वही लिखना जो तुमको आता है। फील्ड टेक्निक्स, ऑब्जर्वेशन मेथड, ट्रैफिक कॉम्पोजिशन, फ्लो, बायोडाइवर्सिटी रजिस्ट्रेशन, क्रॉप कॉम्बिनेशन। फील्ड टेक्निक्स का मोस्टली ये आपका फील्ड में जाके काम होता है। जैसे कि सर्वे करना होता है, तो आपको हाउस होल्ड का सर्वे कैसे करना है, मार्केट सर्वे कैसे करना है, पैसेंजर्स जो आ रहे हैं, टूरिस्ट आ रहे हैं बाहर से, ये सब होता है कि डेटा कलेक्ट करने का काम होता है। तो ये फील्ड्स वाला काम है। अगर एग्ज़ाम में दिया भी जाएगा तो उसका डेटा प्रोवाइड कर दिया जाएगा। तो ज़्यादातर रिसोर्सेज नहीं होते कि बाहर जा कर के आपको डेटा कलेक्ट करना है, क्योंकि आपका एग्ज़ाम 4 घंटे का ही होता है, 12 से लेकर के 4 बजे तक का। तो इतने टाइम में आप बाहर जाके डेटा कलेक्ट नहीं कर सकते, तो आपको डेटा प्रोवाइड किया जाएगा। फील्ड इंस्ट्रूमेंट, पोर्टेबल वेदर स्टेशन, अवेलेबल क्लाइनोमीटर, अवेलेबल एंड अबे लेवल एंड क्लाइनोमीटर को हम एक्सप्लेन करेंगे आगे की वीडियो में, बिकॉज ये इंपॉर्टेंट है. लैंड यूज स्टडी एट माइक्रो लेवल यूजिंग कैडेस्ट्रियल मैपिंग. तो स्टार्ट करते हैं इसके डिफिनेशन से. सबसे पहले आता है गिनी कोएफिशिएंट एंड लॉरेंस कर्व. गिनी कोएफिशिएंट एंड लॉरेंस कर्व. द गिनी कोएफिशिएंट एंड लॉरेंस कर्व आर टूल्स यूज टू मेजर इनकम इनइक्वालिटी विद इन अ पॉपुलेशन. जो हम आपको समझा चुके हैं पहले वीडियो के स्टार्टिंग में ही कि ये इनइक्वालिटी को कैलकुलेट करता है जो पॉपुलेशन का इनकम होता है, किसका कितना इनकम है, कौन ज़्यादा कमा रहा है, कौन कम कमा रहा है. इनइक्वालिटी, कभी भी किसी का इनकम सेम नहीं होगा. देर इज ऑलवेज एन इनइक्वलिटी इन द इनकम. तो उसी को जोड़ने में ये मदद करता है. लॉरेंस कर्व. इमेज यू लाइंड अप एवरीवन इन अ पॉपुलेशन फ्रॉम पुअरेस्ट टू द रिचेस्ट. अब पुअर से रिचेस्ट के बीच में जो डायग्राम दिखाते हो उसको आप कर्व के जरिए डिफाइन करते हो. ठीक है. द लॉरेंस कर्व प्लॉट द क्यूमुलेटिव परसेंटेज ऑफ इनकम अर्न बाय द. देखो हम रीडिंग कर रहे हैं, आप वीडियो को फास्ट फॉरवर्ड में करके ये करो ताकि आपको डिफिनेशन जो है वो मेमोराइज हो जाए. हम एक्सप्लेनेशन कम, रीडिंग ज़्यादा कर रहे हैं, पहले बोल दे रहे हैं, क्योंकि ये जो स्लाइड्स बनाया मैंने ये बहुत शॉर्ट है, सिंपल है और ये याद भी कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. जहाँ कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो मेरे को कमेंट में बता देना, हम कमेंट में रिप्लाई दे देंगे. द लॉरेंस कर्व प्लॉट्स द क्यूमुलेटिव परसेंटेज ऑफ इनकम earned by the population against the cumulative percentage of people, starting with the poorest. A perfect inequality situation would be diagnosed line where each percentage of the population earn the same percentage of income. Gini coefficient. The Gini coefficient in a number between 0 and 1 that represents the area between the perfect equality line and the Lorentz curve. A Gini coefficient of 0 represents perfect equality. Everyone has the same income, while a coefficient of 1 percentage perfect inequality. One person has also the income. The closer the Gini coefficient is to 1, the greater the income inequality. एक सरप्राइज है, वीडियो के एकदम एंड में वन लाइनर डिफिनेशन लिखा है मैंने पूरे टॉपिक, पूरे सिलेबस का. तो वीडियो के एंड तक रुकना ज़रूर. कैलकुलेटिंग द गिनी कोएफिशिएंट. ये बहुत शॉर्ट सिंपल सा मेथड है. अरेंज द पॉपुलेशन इन ascending orders of income. Calculate the Lorentz curve by plotting the cumulative percentage of income received against the cumulative percentage of the population. Arrange करना, calculate करना. Calculate the area under the Lorentz curve. A. Calculate the areas of perfect inequality triangle. B. Gini coefficient is A minus B minus A divided by B in a bracket. So, the Gini coefficient is a measure of income inequality derived from the Lorentz curve, with 0 representing perfect equality and 1 percentage perfect inequality. तो ये हुआ Gini coefficient का short notes. Nearest neighbor analysis and occupational. Tertiary diagram. Nearest neighbor analysis. Nearest neighbor analysis is the method used to study pattern of spatial distribution. Image you have a set of points represent, for example, trees in a forest. This analysis helps to determine if these points are randomly distributed or if there's a pattern to their arrangement. How it works: for each point you calculate the distance its nearest neighbor. Then you compare this distance to what would expect if the points were randomly distributed. If the distance are significantly different, it suggested a non-random pattern. ये मेरा फेवरेट टॉपिक है, तो इसको विस्तार में दूसरे वीडियो में बताएंगे. Occupational tertiary diagram. An occupational tertiary diagram categorizes occupations into 3 main groups based on certain characteristics. It helps visualize the distributions of occupations within a population. How it works. Number 1. Identify 3 characteristics or factors relevant to the occupation you are studying. For example, skills level, income, or industry type. Number two, plot each occupation on the diagram according to its values for these factors. Number three, the three corners of the triangle represent extreme values for each factors. Number four, each occupation falls somewhere within the triangle, indicating its maximum of characters. Methods of calculating tertiary diagram. Identifying three factors, determining the three main characters or factors you have to analyze for each. Methods for calculating tertiary diagram. Number one, identify three factors, determine the three main characters or factors that want to analyze for each occupations. Sorry for the dog barking behind my video. Just concentrate on my voice. Assign values. Assign values to each occupation for these three factors. For example, if one factor is a skill level, you might assign a level. You might assign a value from 0 to 100 for each occupation representing low to high skill level. Plot points. On the tertiary diagram, mark a point for each occupation according to its values for the three factors. Interpretation. The position of each point within the triangle indicates the mix of characteristics for that occupation. Closer to one corner means a higher level for that factor. Analyze Analysis. Analyze the distributions of points to identify any patterns or trends in the occupations based on the three factors. By using these methods, you can visualize, represent, analyze the distributions of occupation based on multiple characteristics, helping to understand the compositions of the workforce more effectively. Okay, the sixth slide is for exponential growth curve and population projection. Exponential growth curve describe rapid growth where the rate of increase is proportional to the current size, characterized by a curve that starts slowly and then steeply rises, commonly seen in population with abundant resources and no limiting factors. Population projection estimates further population sizes based on current growth rates, utilizes mathematical models, often based on exponential growth to predict population changes over time. Factors such as birth rate, death rate, and migration are considered in projections, help governments and organizations plan for future resources needs and infrastructure development. Next topic is index number and cumulative curve. Index number. Index number compares changes in variables over time by experiencing them as ratios or percentage, often used to track changes in price, product, or economic indicators. Provides a standardized way to measure changes and compare different time periods or groups. Cumulative index curve illustrate the cumulative change in a index over time, plot the cumulative index values against time and showing the overall trends of change. Useful for visualizing long-term trends and identifying periods of growth and decline. Unit 1 is finished. Now moving to the second unit. Quantitative mapping and interpretation. So the first topic we have is main centers of population and its shift. Concentration of population about main centers. I'm really sorry that I'm reading right now, but it's very important for you to just fasten up the video and just listen what I'm saying, because it's a last minute exam video, so it's very important for you to listen to the voice. It will help you to memorize and also read the screen as well. Main center of population. The mean center of population is the average geographic location of a population. Image placing a dot on a map for every person in a city or region. The main center would be where all these dots would balance out if the map were a flat surface. It gives a central point that represents where people are gradually located over time. Changes in population distribution, migration pattern, and urban population and urban development can cause the main culture to shift. Tracking the movement of the main centers helps understand how a population geographic distribution changes over time. Concentration of population about main centers. It refers to how closely people are clustered around the main centers. If most people are close to the main center, it indicates a high concentration of population in that area. If people are more spread out, the concentration around the main center is lower. Understanding population concentration helps with urban planning, resources allocation, and infrastructure development. Number two, location quotation Z score. Z score भी बोल सकते हैं हम Z score बोलते हैं. Location quotation Q LQ compares the concentration of a particular activity, such as industry or occupation, in one area to its concentration in a larger reference area. It helps identify the relative importance of a specific activity within a given region compared to its importance at a broader scale. A location quotation greater than 1 indicates that the activity is more concentrated in the areas of interest compared to the reference area, while a quotation less than 1 suggests less concentration. Z-score. The Z-score is a statistical measure that indicates how many standard deviation a data point is from the mean of a dataset. It helps determine whether a particular value is typical or unusual within the dataset. A, a Z a Z-score of 0 means the data point is exactly at the mean, while positive scores indicates values above the mean and negative scores indicates values below the mean. Z-scores are useful for comparing different data sets and identifying outlier or extreme values. Number 3 मतलब नंबर 3 यूनिट 2 का 3 रेसिडुअल मैपिंग क्रॉप कॉम्बिनेशन एनालिसिस. Residual mapping is a technique used to compare observed value with predicted values in a data set. It helps identifying areas or data points where there are significant difference between what was expected and what actually occurred. Residual are calculated by subtracting the predicted values from the observed values. Positive residual indicates values that are higher than expected, while negative residual indicates values that are lower than expected. Residual mapping is useful for identifying patterns, trends, and anomalies in data, and for evaluating the accuracy of statistical models. Crop combination analysis. Crop combination analysis involves studying the combinations of crop grown in a particular agricultural area. It helps assess the suitability of different crop combination for cultivation in a given region. Factors such as climate, soil conditions, water availability, and market demands are considered when analyzing crop combination. The goal is to identify optimal crop combination that maximize productivity, minimize risks, and optimize resources use. Crop combination analysis is important for agriculture planning, crop rotation strategies, and sustainability farming practices. Number 4, population potential gravity model, accessibility map, distance centrality matrix and MAT. ठीक है. Now, population potential gravity model. The population potential based on the gravity model predicts the interactions between different places based on factors that population size and distance between them. It assumes that larger population and shorter distances between places lead to stronger interaction or flow, such as migration, commuting, or trade. The model calculates the potential interaction between two places as a function of their population size and distance between them, often using a formula that inversely relates distance and strength of interaction. Accessibility map, distance centrality matrix map. So there is one huge mistake which I have done. There is a full form of MAT which is multi accessibility tool. That's the full form of MAT, multi accessibility tool. Okay. An, ex- an accessibility map illustrates how easily people or good can access different location based on factors like distance or centrality. It consider various modes of transport and travels time between location. Accessibility map helps identifying area with good or poor access to services, resources or markets. Distance matrix calculate travels distance between location. Centrality matrices identify central location within a network. And multi-accessibility tools, that is MAT, combine multiple factors to assess over accessibility. That is the ending of our unit 2. Let's move on to unit 3, that is field techniques. इसको मैंने थ्योरी में लिख दिया, बट ये फील्ड्स टेक्निक है जो मैंने ओवरऑल व्यू स्टार्टिंग में ही दे दिया था. ऑब्जर्वेशन मेथड, ट्रैफिक कॉम्पोजिशन फ्लो, बायोडाइवर्सिटी रजिस्टर, क्रॉप कॉम्बिनेशन. क्रॉप कॉम्पोजिशन, observation method, traffic composition flow. Traffic composition flow observation methods involve visually recording the types and volume of vehicles or pedestrian moving through a particular area, such as road, interaction, or highways. Observation notes Observations note the different type of vehicles, car, truck, bicycle, pedestrians, and their numbers, often using tally marks or recording devices. Number 3. This method helps transportation planners and engineers understanding traffic patterns, identifying congestion point and plan for the infrastructure improvement and traffic management strategies. Let me check if the video is recording or not. I'm very bad at this thing. Yes, the video is being recorded. And I don't know the screen is being shared or not. I am really sorry. शुरू से ही स्क्रीन नहीं दिख रहा था. Specific habitat or ecosystem. Observers documents the species, names, abundance, distributions, and any notable observations such as nesting behavior or feeding habits. Biodiversity registration helps ecologists or conservationists and land managers monitor changes in biodiversity over time, assess habitat health, and prioritize conservation efforts. Observation method crop combination. Crop composition observation method involve documenting the types and distributions of crop grown in a specific agricultural areas. Observation records the name of crop being cultivated, their extent, that is hectares or acres, and any relevant details such as planting methods or crop varieties. And crop composition observation assist agricultural research farmers, policymakers in assessing land use patterns, identifying cropping trends, and making information decision regarding agricultural practices, crop diversification, and food security. I'm really sorry, मेरा throat सूख रहा है इसलिए हम जल्दी जल्दी रीड नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. तो you need to survey schedule, house survey, market survey, passenger survey, tourist survey. Survey schedule. Household survey. A household survey collects data about the demographic, economic, and social characteristic of household. It includes the information such as family size, income, education level, employment status, housing conditions, access to basic amenities, household survey or used by government, researcher and organization for policy making, social program and market analysis. Survey schedule market survey. A market survey gather data about consumers' preferences, buying habits and market trends. It investigates factors such as product preferences, brand loyalty, pricing sensitivity, and shopping behavior. Market surveys help businesses understanding their target audiences, identifying market opportunities, and develop effective marketing strategies. Survey schedule, passenger survey. A passenger survey collects data or passenger uses of transportation service as a bus, train, aeroplane. It's include the information such as travel frequency, trip purpose, destination, mode of transportation, satisfaction with the service quality, passenger survey assist transportation authorities and companies in optimizing routes, improving services reliability, and enhancing passenger experience. Such survey, tourist survey. A tourist survey gather information about tourist preferences, prepa- pretending pattern and travel behaviors. It covers aspects such as travel destination, commodities, accommodation choices, activities, expenditure, and satisfaction level. Tourist survey helps tourist agencies, hospitality businesses, and destination marketers understands visitor preferences, tailor offering, and promotes tourism destinations effectively. So the next topic is field instrument, portable weather station, available, and clinometer. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, please forgive me. Field instrument, portable weather station. A portable weather station is a device used to measure various atmospheric conditions such as temperature, humidity, wind speed, and precipitation. It consists of sensors that collect data, which is then displayed on a screen or recorded for later analysis. Portable weather stations are used by meteorologists, researchers, and outdoor enthusiasts for weather forecasting, climate monitoring, and planning outdoor activity. Available and an ebony level is a handheld instrument used to measure angles of elevations or depression. It consists of a sighting tube with a bubble level and a protector scale. By aligning the sighting tube with the object being measured and reading the angles on the scale, users can determine the slope or inclinations of the terrains. Ebony levels are commonly used in surveying, forestry, and concentration and constructions to measure slope, grades, and angles. Clinometer, a clinometer also known as an inclinometer, is a device used to measure angles of inclinations or tilt. It typically consists of a protector or level attached to a housing with a heighted pendulum or digital sensor. Clinometers are used to measure the angle of elevation or depression of objects such as trees, buildings, or slope. They are commonly used in forestry, geology, in engineering for slope stability analysis, structural assessment, and land surveying. Land use study at micro level using cadastral mapping. Cadastral map. Land use study at micro level using cadastral map. A land use study at the micro level involves analyzing the type and distribution of land use in a small localized area. Cadastral maps, which shows property boundaries, ownership, and land parcel details, are used in as the primary source of information for this study. Researchers or planners examine the cadastral map to identify different land uses such as a residential, commercial, industrial, agriculture, or recreational areas. They may also note any changes or development in land use over time, such as new construction, zoning changes, or land conservation. This information helps in understanding how land is utilized within the study area, identifying patterns of development, and making information decisions about land management, urban planning, or resource allocation. Land use studies at the micro level are important for assessing the suitability of land for various purposes, addressing land use conflicts, and promoting sustainability development within communities. सो लास्ट में मैंने कहा था कि वन लाइनर मैं डिफिनेशन प्रोवाइड करूँगी. सो यहाँ है वन लाइनर डिफिनेशन पूरे सिलेबस का. जस्ट सी, वॉच, रीड एंड ये रीड मैं कर दूँ क्या? ठीक है. गिनी कोएफिशिएंट मेजर्ड इनकम इनइक्वालिटी इन अ पॉपुलेशन. Lorentz curve visually represents income distribution by plotting cumulative income against the cumulative population. Nearest neighbor analysis help identifying patterns of spatial distribution by measuring the proximity of points to their nearest neighbors. Occupational tertiary diagram categorize occupations into three main groups based on their characteristic. Exponential growth curve depicts rapid growth where the rate of growth is proportional to the current size. Population projection estimates future population sizes based on current growth rates. Index number compares changes in variables over time by experiencing them as ratios or percentage. Cumulative index curve illustrate the cumulative changes in a index over time. Mean center of population and its shift. Concentration of population about main center. Main centers of populations calculates the average location of a population. Concentration of population about the main center shows how densely or sparsely a population is distributed around this average point. Location quotation measures the concentration of a particular activity in a region compared to its concentration at a larger scale. Z-score standardizes data to determine how many standard deviation a value is from the mean. Residual mapping compares observed values with predicted values to identify areas of over or underperformance. Crop combination analysis assesses the suitability of different crop for cultivations in a given area. Population potential based on the gravity model predicts interaction between places based on population sizes and distances. Accessibility map measures how easily people or goods can access different locations based on factors like distance or centrality. Traffic composition, flow, observe the type and volumes of the traffic passing through an area. Biodiversity registration records the variety of a species in a specific habitat. Crop compositions observe the type and distributions of crop in an agricultural area. Household survey collects data or demographic, economic, and social characteristic of household. Market survey assess consumers' preferences, buying habitat, and market trends. Passenger survey records data or passenger using various modes of transportation. Tourist survey gather information on tourist preferences, is- spending patterns, and travel behaviors. Portable weather stations measures weather parameters like temperature, humidity, and wind speed. Abney level measures angles of elevation and depression. Clinometer measures slope angles. And the last one is land use study examines how land is utilized in a specific areas based on a cadastral mapping. Cadastral map showing property, boundaries, and land ownership. So that is all. थोड़ा सो जाते हैं वरना एग्जाम में हम पक्का सो जाएंगे. सो दैट इज़ ऑल. वीडियो सही से देख लो और जो स्क्रीन मैंने अटैच नहीं किया मेरे को एडिट करना पड़ेगा. सो ऑल द बेस्ट फॉर योर एग्जाम एंड सी यू इन द नेक्स्ट वीडियो. जो भी क्वेश्चन पेपर में आएगा वो मैं क्वेश्चन पेपर भी शेयर कर दूंगी. सी यू इन द नेक्स्ट वीडियो. ऑल द बेस्ट. बाय बाय.